Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Podcast, y'all. I am your host, JoJo.
And I'm Tyra.
Ooh.
We're back.
Yes, we are. I know y'all have had enough of us, but
Enough.
it's okay. I'm always going to say it. Life be lifing, so sorry, not sorry, because I'm sorry, not sorry, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, we missed last week's episode. Lately we've just been missing episodes because things just pop up. And me and Jojo, we really only have 2 days where we can record. And in those 2 days, it's like we have so many other things to do, of course. Like visiting family, running errands, for me doing showings and things like that. So
yeah, I don't have the work flexibility that I used to have before, and she's taken on more responsibility with doing all the realtor stuff. So yeah, now it's like slim pickings.
Yeah, but last week's episode that we missed, the reason why we missed is because I went to go get my lips done in this place called Beauty Fix in New York. And I'm over here thinking like, yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be able to record right after this. Like, one thing about me, I love to double book, and I think that I can do 100 things in one day. So I was like, yeah, no, you do this, you do that. I was working. As soon as we get out of work, we go get to the Beauty Fix place where Jojo got a facial and I got lip filler. After that, we go eat and then we record. Like after that, and then after that, and then after that. But this wasn't my first time getting lip filler. So I was under the impression, like, in the past when I've gotten lip filler, it doesn't look like a major difference. So I'm like, I'll be fine. I will literally be A-okay. But no, I looked nuts. So I was like, I cannot get on camera like this. Like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I was gonna look ridiculous. Like, they were gonna be like, does she have an allergic reaction? Like, she looks nuts. And imagine me clipping videos like that. Like, people would have been like, yeah, you got botched. So yeah, that's why we missed last week's episode. And then Jojo went back to South Jersey to visit family. So it was kind of like, it's just not happening.
Yeah, time is limited. I feel like every time I be like excited to go home, and then I feel like 12 hours go by and I'm already coming back. Like it, I don't know.
Yeah.
And 2 days are just, I'm so not used to like a 5-day work week that 2 days are just not enough.
It's really not enough. It's really not. I think we keep saying that we're gonna get better, but I do think we're gonna get better. Last time I got my lips done, I didn't look ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I don't mind getting on camera. But then this past time it was they did put more lip filler than usual, and I think they did a good job, and I'm happy with the results. They're not too over the top, and also like I feel like you can tell a difference. So, but not like.
Are you happy? Are you pleased with it now?
Yeah, I'm pleased with it.
All right.
Yeah, if anyone's interested, they're called Beauty Fix. They have locations in New York, in Dykeman, in Manhattan, in Miami. And this was the second time we went to them, and they were very like how do you call it? Like, very comforting and welcoming. So
yeah,
it was a good experience.
That part.
But yeah, so last time we had an episode, we talked about the queer girls trip with us, and asking you guys to do a survey. So we received all the survey results. It's a lot of people that showed interest, so we have to go through that list and see like the top places and the timing and like what excursions people want to do. So we're still like figuring that out, and then once we get more information, we'll let you guys know. But yeah, that's still in the works.
If you're watching this episode right now, you see my dog like literally laying on me. And honestly, he's the cutest thing. He has attachment issues.
He really does. What's your issue?
You can really, the fact that I'm looking at it, like you could really see him in the picture right now. And he keeps looking back at me like, if girl, you stop touching me one more time, I will unplug your mic.
He really want to be in the camera so bad.
He do. But he's the
So
sweetest thing. Oh my
bad.
God, he's so cute. Anyway, go ahead. I'm
But
just
yeah.
crying because he's just like literally in the frame. Like,
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, now we're just letting the dogs just roam around.
Yeah.
But yeah. The other thing that I want to talk about is we are going to be hosting this Pride Noche Latina in New York. It is going to be on Saturday, June 22nd. And it's going to be in Manhattan, Midtown. The tickets are on our bio, but they do have an early bird sale until May 31st, $15. So this is gonna be, yo, my dog is looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Bro, we're having a party. Are you coming? Yes or no?
He's like, well, can I come?
Well, we're not having the party.
No,
We're
no,
just
no,
gonna
no.
be there. We're just gonna be part of the organization called Las Reinas. Last year we hosted something with them and it was pretty dope. Like they have a lot of dancers, performers, they have really good DJs, hookah, VIP, food, all of that. So if you're interested, you should definitely go. I know that the week after that it is New York Pride, but if you can't make it to that, then maybe you can make it to this. There's going to be a lot of events in June because I know Preciosa Night is also going to be the following week. So yeah, like we got to get ready.
It's crazy to think that Pride Month is around the corner already.
Yeah.
Like, I was just telling her yesterday, we were talking about it, and I was like, 8 months have went by already. And I just find that so crazy that it's been like already 5 months since we moved and we came up north. And now we're already coming to the summer. Like, this is crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, and you got to take advantage of it because I feel like summer, well, first of all, it's May and it doesn't feel like it's May, at least in Jersey. It's really like cloudy, rainy, cold.
Yeah, it's been
Like,
pretty trashy.
yeah, like today is Saturday and the weather is not too bad. We're actually going to go to an event in Jersey City, like this pop-up event with like different vendors and a lot of like street style people who are selling stuff. And I hope that the weather and all of that is good. But usually on the weekends it's not it. Like every weekend for some reason it's cold, it's rainy, it's just not giving. So like I said, summer is right around the corner. So I feel like you have to say yes to things and just do it because next thing you know, it's gonna be fucking fall and winter all over again. And we're gonna be stuck indoors.
Yo.
Too cold to go out. And I need a tan.
Valid.
But yeah, we hope to see you guys there. The link is in our bio. If you have any other questions, please let us know. We'll try to answer those. Okay, so this episode is gonna be coming out at work. I feel like it's like a topic that people really don't talk about because it's like work is work and like work is just like that's just what you do. It is what it is. But I feel like that is where you spend most of your time. And a lot of people are not out at work. Mind you, like we're spending 40 hours plus. We're spending more time like at work than we are at home.
Valid.
And like not being able to be your true self is tragic because you spend years at work. Like we literally, I mean, I don't believe in it, but we're working till the day that we retire. So it's like in our 60s. Like we're not even halfway there. So that's like a subject that I want to talk about also because I had an experience where I've been taking like as you guys know, doing real estate on the side or whatever. Taking it a little bit more seriously and going to like networking events and talking to people. I do a lot of rentals, which I love. But yeah, just trying to meet people and trying to like really get to know the ins and outs of real estate in North Jersey and whatever. So I'm meeting a lot of people. And that means I'm meeting real estate agents, I'm meeting mortgage people, I'm meeting people who do title, I'm meeting lawyers, all of that, right? Obviously, I am femme presenting. So I obviously look straight. And I was talking to this mortgage guy and I don't know how it got brought up, but I said something, something with my partner, or like something, something with my partner. And he was like, what do you mean by that? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, what do you mean by my partner? And I feel like the word my partner could be used in many different ways, especially like in the work environment, because your partner could be like your work partner, like your colleague and whatever. I was like, oh, like, but in this instance, it was clear that it was like someone that was like a close person to me, like in a relationship with. But he wanted me to clarify. I said, yeah, like my significant other, my girlfriend. Yeah. He was like, oh, your girlfriend. And then he started like smiling really, really hard. He was like, but you like both, right? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like you like guys and girls. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but yeah, it was just like very awkward. And like one thing about me is like I could be very like stern and very like, I know you're not talking to me like that, but in a work environment, at least I take it professionally. So I was just like, I'm gonna keep it cool. Like I'm gonna laugh it off. I'm not going to be like, why do you assume that I must like guys and girls? Like, what if I said I'm a lesbian? But then it's like,
That's a cringe.
it was such a cringe for me because it was like, this was probably like the second networking event that I've been to. And I'm still trying to get like used to it and stuff. But I've noticed that for those who do real estate, because there's some people who listen who do it, this is really not to bash the real estate.
I'm about to say, I
thing.
feel like you don't need to be in a real estate environment or like in the profession to know that it is one of the most unprofessional,
very
like, environments or
very.
like.
But like I didn't like listen, like I didn't know, like this is what I think of it. I think the real estate profession is unprofessional. Straight up. And I know that this stays here and this is a podcast and we're putting it out there and like it is what it is. But like personally, I have experienced a lot of things that I can't talk about right now that are so unprofessional, like that I am like baffled with. I'm like, wow. Wow, I cannot believe that this is how y'all do business. Coming from corporate, like, and coming from a professional environment and coming from higher education, I'm like, my partner doesn't even go through this, and they're in a male environment, and I have to go through this. I was like, ew. I mean, I didn't let that shit ruin my night. Like, it is what it is. Got the business card, like, got my drinks. Like, it was like, I'm still gonna talk. It is what it is. But it made me feel like I can't talk about my partner or I can't talk about being in a relationship. But one of the things that I really emphasize in my social media for my real estate business is I am queer and I want to help queer people out and I want people to feel comfortable. And I have had queer couples, queer women contact me to look for rentals, to look for houses, all of that. I want people to feel comfortable with their agent. So it's like, that's not a part of me that I want to hide, but it's just like, it's annoying when things like this happen. Yeah, it was just so cringy. And I was just like, I'm gonna cut the conversation short. And then I remember telling Jojo this because she was working. As I'm talking to him and I tell him like, yeah, my partner, as in my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. Somebody was overhearing our conversation. And he was like, he got so like excited. Like it was so weird. And he's like, let me see your girlfriend. I was like, oh, my girlfriend's beautiful. I just pop up my phone, show a picture. He's like, oh wow. He was like, so like you guys have threesomes? Oh my God. I was like, yo no lo puedo creer aquí.
He said that?
He said that.
Okay,
I thought I told you that.
No.
But he wasn't.
No, that's cringy, bro.
He wasn't anything. He was a client. He was just there with his agent for whatever reason. Mind you, this is a networking event. But at the same time, you do meet people in these networking events who are, you know, talking to agents, trying to like sell their home, whatever the case is. And yeah, I was like, not him talking about threesomes. I was like, yo, I cannot believe this. Yeah, it was, it was, and I was trying to.
It's one thing if I know you
keep it cool.
or I'm, you know, familiar with you, and you know, I kiki it up, talk shit, you know, haha, he entertain it. But like, I don't even know you, and you overheard my conversation, so now you're bringing up a personal situation to me. about me, asking like I don't know you. Why would that be funny?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no threesomes are here.
That's cringy.
Sorry.
Cringy.
I was like,
and the fucking guy asking you like girls and guys, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Like
just
that's
like,
the fuck does it matter?
I'm like, why are you, why? Just why? Like, it's like, why? Like, very uncomfortable, honestly. And with the guy with the threesomes, ha ha, trying to be professional, but at the same time, y'all gonna catch me on the wrong day, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
wouldn't
really go
even have
crazy.
answered it, or like if I would have answered it, I guess I played devil's advocate because I'd have just been like, no, like I'm gonna tell you exactly what you don't want to hear.
No, I said
Because when
yeah.
you
No,
tell
I was
them
like, no.
yeah, that's what they want to hear.
Oh, absolutely not. I was like, yeah, no threesomes over here, haha. But yeah, my girlfriend's beautiful. I know that, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I have this stud who she be like, I'm like, oh, I don't care who you be with, okay? I don't care if you be dating a stud. Like, talking about how he basically has sex with like a stud or whatever. And I was like, gran cosa.
Now he think he could just do that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is getting crazy. Next subject. But those are like, that's just like one experience that I've experienced coming out at work that it's just tragic. I wanted to go over like some facts that I think are important.
Before you go over your facts, I have an experience too. What you
Oh,
think?
no,
Everybody
no,
thinks
no.
I'm gay?
No, of course not. Of course not. Go. Tell me.
Okay, thank you. Where I used to work, surprisingly enough, they and complete male, male dominated environment, and I don't know. I always think like, oh, it's just so easy to tell, like whatever. But I was really young too. But nobody knew that I was gay. Nobody knew that I like girls. None of that. And they actually thought the opposite because I was really good friends. Like
they thought you were straight?
Yeah, one of my really good friends that I came into the job with, they actually thought like she was gay and I was the straight one. And once you're a new person in the new work environment, they all gassed up. They talk about you,
They love newbies.
Yeah. Because now they're like, oh, like, we got a rookie. She popping. Like, who about to slide in?
Disgusting. Like, what do you mean slide in? We work together.
Right. Guys live for their work environment.
It's the men for me. It's the men. They're the worst.
So it was funny because I don't know, shit goes around in your work environment, right? When people find things out. And so they thought I was straight. My friend was gay. And it was actually vice versa. She was a straight one. I was a gay one. So I don't know at what point they finally found out that I liked girls. That one guy actually confronted me about it.
Confronted you?
Yeah, like.
What did he say?
Like he came out of his, I don't want to say he came out of his way, but he happened to know where I was working that day. And, he came, he said, what's up? And he was like, oh, I heard from a little birdie, or like, kind of like it's going around that, you like girls. And I knew it was going to happen because I think I had mentioned to somebody like, oh yeah, like, da-da-da. And I casually throw like, oh yeah, the last girl I was talking to, or the girl I'm talking to now, or like, I love doing that. I love it because it is like the biggest.
Casually bring it up.
Yeah. And it always, it's never like, it's always a surprise to people. And I love the element of surprise. So I'm like, yeah, my girlfriend this, or my girl that. So I think I had mentioned at some point, I didn't have a girl at the time, but I had mentioned, that obviously I had interest in women and like I was gay. So that person, I knew had a big mouth too. So I was like, at least I know where it's coming from. So eventually, the person came confronted me and I was like, I heard, you like girls. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Like, so what is the question? Like, what are we confused about? What do you want? What do we need confirmation for?
Yeah, who are you?
So I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, like really, like straight up, yeah. And they're like, oh wow, so you're gay, like just, and I'm like, yes. Thank you for your concern. If you need a wingman, let me know. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. So I just thought it was weird. And then eventually, like, some people knew, some people didn't. And then, you know, you get to know these people. And the environment that I was in, we talk shit, you know, not everything was, some things probably could have went to HR, but again, it was just talking shit. But nobody was like weird or rude about it. I think I don't want to say it's natural, but I feel like normally guys make fun of it in the sense of like, oh, you know, well, would you ever think about messing with a guy, or would you why don't you want to you know, mess with a guy, or have you? But I can honestly say that I didn't have any disrespectful moments, or like, you know, in terms of my sexuality. For the most part, I actually had guys who really wanted to know, like, you know, the ins and outs. I don't want to say the ins and outs, but just like that wanted to understand a different view of like why so many people are into this sexuality spectrum. Because I also, you know, worked with a lot of old school people too. So to them, it's black and white, men and women, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I actually did have some guys who were genuinely interested in, well, what is it about women that, you know, you like, or that, you know, when did you know you were gay? How did you know you were gay? Like, just wanting to know really of how it came about. And I, you know, I gave them my experience. I was like, you know, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but like, this was my experience and this is how I feel, and you know, that is what it is, and they respected that. So not everybody is, you know, being disrespectful and a douchebag about it. Yeah. But I thought that was actually surprising, especially considering that I worked with so many old school, like older people. But most of them were just like, all right, cool, I respect it.
Yeah. I feel like for the most part, I want to say that coworkers are supposed to be very like neutral and very supportive when it comes to that. In every job that I've had, well, not every, but like after coming out, when I would like even interview or anything like that, like I would want to know like what type of person are you? Like what type of company am I working for? Like what does the environment look like? Because I also don't want to hide who I date, and I also don't want to work for someone who's not comfortable with that, because then it's just going to put us both in an uncomfortable position. So I feel like even at work, like in corporate, it's not that I would just casually bring it up just to see how they would react, you know, because that's important to me, and I don't want to work somewhere where they don't accept it, or where they're going to be weird about it, because then I'm not going to be here long term. Or I'm just going to be kind of like I'm not going to be receiving those promotions and things like that because you just don't like who I am as a person. So even like during like interviews and things like that, you know how like your first interview is very casual with like the recruiter and things like that, and sometimes they even ask you, oh, what did you do this weekend, and blah blah blah, start talking about the weather, like somehow I'll be like, yeah, me and my partner, me and my girlfriend, we went to, you know, this concert, or like whatever the case is, like very casually, because I want to know what type of company is this. Like, are you gonna be weird after this? Am I gonna move to the next step? If I don't move to the next step and that was one of the reasons, then good, then that means that this was just not for us. I'm sorry. But then I do know some people that they're like, I'm not, that is like, work is work, and like my personal life has nothing to do with it. I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm never gonna come out and all those things. But I feel like especially with having this platform, it's not something that I want to hide. And then when they find out, that's gonna be a bigger issue. Yeah. No, I'm not here for it.
I just don't think like there's this big thing where you feel like you need to come out and be like, yes, listen, no, it's just I like want a you casual to know that I'm gay. Yeah. Like it's a casual, like, you know, my girlfriend, my partner, or my past partner, you know? I mean, I don't think I do think like work is work. But as you said, it's like a in between, because it is where you spend most of your time. So that's also why we grow and like find friendships there. Not always for everybody, but then in the same breath, it's just like, I just work with y'all, you know, like. But I think that depends on the environment that you work in. I can honestly say the previous environment that I was working in, I had, I worked with a lot of people, and it was just like, I just work with y'all, so I kind of don't care what you think or what you know, or how I come off. But I did have a group of people in there that were actually like that I hung out with and had relationships outside of work.
Yeah.
That were like, so I do think it's a like in the middle thing where it's just like, yes, it's important, and at the same time, work is just work. Like, I come here, put in my hours, and get my paycheck, and that's it.
Right.
But that depends on your environment.
Right. We asked you guys, like, how do you feel about this? So the question was, is it important to come out to your peers at work? How did you do it? And I want to read some of the responses. So for the most part, a lot of people didn't think it was necessary. Someone said, I don't think it's important. Casual conversation is how my peers know. I didn't until I started volunteering for our LGBTQ plus employee group. At that point, it felt important. Who you date, love is your personal business. Protect things that matter the most close to your chest. No, not everyone is allowed access to my life, but I don't hide myself either. What else? Someone said, yes, it sets clear boundaries at work, especially if I'm in a relationship, especially if I'm presenting. Someone said, I don't think it's important or anyone's business, but be confident and be you.
Valid.
Someone said, truly depends on your profession and climate of work. My coworkers know. Depends if they're close friends. Sure, my coworkers were chill about it. Someone said, I never actually came out, but I have a massive rainbow cup that says I woke up this gay.
I love that.
Someone said, I work at a school in a republic country as a queer and black. I'd rather be safe and keep private life separate. Someone said, I did after 3 years. Someone said, at my work, I'm the only female, so I didn't have to come out. They assumed. Someone said, I don't think it's important to come out to work peers. If someone asks, then we'll talk. Only if you feel comfortable to do so. And someone said, I did this at my job interview. But yeah, I definitely think it depends on your work environment. I know with my job, we have like weekly one-on-ones, and we would talk about like what we did this weekend and things like that. And we had each other on social media. Like, that was completely normal. Like, my manager had me. I had a bunch of coworkers. I had some of my coworkers' numbers. We would text. So I think it was like very like clear and very close knit. And it's also a very small company, so it was bound to like happen. But I was doing some research to kind of just like dive into this a little bit deeply. And I found some facts that I thought were a little bit interesting. 1 second. So in 2020, the Supreme Court of the United States, they issued a decision in Bostock versus Clayton County, where it states that discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity is prohibited under the federal employment non-discrimination law known as Title VII. So I think it's funny that this literally just came out in 2020, where like companies can't discriminate against it. I feel like a lot of people think that we've come so far, and we have. But when I see dates like this, like 2020, like literally that was 4 years ago. So you're telling me that before that you could be discriminated against and they could fire you. And that's why this came about. So the guy, his name is Gerald. He worked for Clayton County in Georgia for 10 years. And after joining a gay softball league, they fired him. So he sued them because imagine working somewhere for 10 years and then they find out you're gay and then you get fired. Wild. Like, what? How does that make it okay? Like, what was the reason? Because he's gay? Okay, yeah. That's not gonna work. But looked more into this, and according to McKinsey research, more than 1 in 4 LGBTQ employees are not out at work. it says that people who open up about being LGBTQ plus often have to come out repeatedly. Nearly half of LGBTQ respondents reported having to come out at work at least once a week in the past month. 1 in 5 people had to come out multiple times in a week. Another thing that it said was women are far less likely than men to be out. Only 58% of the LGBTQ plus women surveyed, compared with 80% of LGBTQ men said that they were out with most colleagues. And that more than 60% of LGBTQ respondents reported needing to correct their colleagues' assumptions about their personal lives. So I feel like a lot of the times they think that like you have a husband or anything and they just throw that out there. Like, oh, you and your husband, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, me and my wife or me and my girlfriend, me and my partner, whatever the case is. I feel like that used to happen to me a lot. And sometimes you get to a point where you're just like, I'm not even gonna correct you anymore. I'm just so tired of like having to repeat myself. Our
You
dog
can see
is
him.
so distracting. What is
You
happening
can
here?
see him in the camera reaching. His toy basket is on the chair over here, and he's so desperately trying to get a toy, but he has like 5 toys on the floor already.
Okay, so here are some company policies that can make life harder for LGBTQ employees. So, not all companies provide benefits for domestic partners, and fewer offer trans inclusive healthcare coverage. Um, they also have to go through a lot of hurdles when it comes to like parental leave. So, for example, like a gay man who is having a child through a surrogate, I don't even know. I mean, I think it depends on the company, but I don't even know how many days, weeks, or months they would give them off, because I feel like they don't see it as like a normal family where it's like the woman's giving birth and like of course like she needs time to like recover. So like that's like another hurdle. Some LGBTQ employees do not feel comfortable using women's or men's bathrooms, and in many workplaces these are the only options. And then they don't have like a just one, just one bathroom where it could be like gender inclusive or just like a private bathroom. Some don't have that. Um, and then this is not a policy, but just like a microaggression that people face is some LGBTQ people face the painful experience of being misgendered and like refer to a pronoun that doesn't accord to their gender identity. So I remember when I first heard about pronouns and like how it was like becoming really popular. I was in higher education, and one thing that they I wouldn't say made us do, but they highly encouraged, like when you introduce yourself, say my name is Dara and my pronouns are she hers, and you would ask the other person to do the same. And at the time, I had some coworkers that just did not like that. Like they were a little bit more old school and older, and they were like, why do I need to say that? Like, why do I need to? It's clear as day that my pronouns are she hers or he him. Like, why do I need to announce that? And I'm like, well, to you it's like clear as day, but we don't know if it's the same to them. But we do see a lot of people say like, oh, my pronouns are she her they. And they use they because sometimes there's certain people where you don't know if they're a girl or boy,
Mhm.
so you don't even know what to refer them to, which is why they use the pronoun like they. um but yeah, these are some questions to basically like ask yourself like beforehand. I guess like before going into any work environment, like, does your employer have a written non-discrimination policy? Everyone should have this because it's literally the law. Um, does insurance cover domestic partner benefits? Not all companies do this, only some companies, and I think it's pretty cool how some companies offer this. And for example, you guys aren't married, but they could still get like health insurance coverage and things like that. I think like Costco does this. Costco does a lot of things. Um, does health coverage cover transition costs. So like these are things that me and you don't think about, but I feel like for other people who are in the LGBTQ community, this is important. Like the whole transition costs, all of that. Helps you like really, I guess, understand what you're getting yourself into when you are working for somebody. But yeah, do you feel like people need to come out at work?
I don't think like it's a absolute have to. I just think, you know, if you feel comfortable enough and safe enough and it's important for you to display that portion of yourself in your life in your work environment, then you should be able to. It's it's up to you, and as long as people can respect it and allow you to, you know, be the person that you are, then it doesn't really matter. But I don't think it's an absolute must.
Yeah.
Just like you said, we don't, you know, it's not, oh, it just comes out casually.
Yeah.
As it should. It shouldn't be made as like, oh man, I gotta go into this place and let everyone know I'm gay just so, you know, because I also almost feel like, it could feel as if me coming out to my work environment or to my colleagues and stuff is almost for their comfortability and their safety to know that I'm gay. And you know, I don't know how to explain it, but I almost think about it as it's more so for them if you feel like you need to come out in a work environment.
Yeah.
So that they know how to go about, you know, being around you. Like, oh, I don't relate or I don't believe in that lifestyle, so I'm just not gonna work with them, or I'm not gonna be around them, or I'm gonna set boundaries type thing, you know? So I don't know.
I feel like when you don't come out, and I've witnessed this, you truly get to see how people feel about the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, because they'll
say,
shit.
Yeah, they'll start talking shit. They'll say slick shit, and it's so hard for you to just sit there and like.
They're waiting for you to be like, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like
agree.
It's like, and then it's like, do I speak up and make this even more awkward, or do I just let it slide and not, you know, associate myself with this person because clearly we don't mesh.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's pros and cons to it. Like, you definitely get to see who they are if you never say anything, if you never come out. And then the pros are like, you could be free and literally just be yourself and talk about what you did on the weekend without having to hide their pronouns. Because in the past, I've done that too. Like, I would not say she or her or anything like that. Very gender neutral. So it's like, I didn't say she. So it's not like I came out type shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. You want to go into the family meeting?
Yep.
All right. I was dating this girl. I ended up finding out she was the girlfriend, now ex, to Salice Rose. So Salice Rose is this really popular, like, LGBTQ influencer. She has like millions of followers. Yeah, probably seen her. She posts a lot of like comedy. She has like red hair, whatever. Back to the story. She had cheated on Salice. They had supposedly broken up, and she told me she wanted to date me. And then this person wrote, if you can cheat on Salice, I should have expected her to cheat on me. So we dated, but throughout the whole relationship, she's going back and forth with Salice, but lying to me and Salice about everything. I hope I'm saying her name right.
Celeste.
Long story short, I found out she lied to me and to Salice again. And she was seeing not only me, but like 4 other girls. The amount of red flags I ignored makes me so stupid, but you live and you learn. Crazy. Like, even the influencers are out here getting played. Unreal.
Nobody's untouchable. As
Even
they say,
Salice.
if Beyonce got cheated on, girl, what's to say you not?
That's so sad.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how people have the energy to, you know, bounce in between people. Like, how are you entertaining more than, like, 2 is like a cap, but entertaining more than that?
Yeah, you're doing
that's a lot. And it's like, what are you really in search for? You are on a high, I'm sure, but once all that shit comes crashing down, oof. To deal with that messiness, I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, me neither. So
but yeah,
sad.
nobody's safe out here. It don't matter
Nobody.
who you are. It doesn't matter what you can provide. If a person does not want to be with you, they are not going to be with you. Nothing in this world that you can give them, or the amount of changing of yourself that you can do, that's going to keep a person. If I just, at least that's my opinion. I mean, I understand people could change, but I think like one of the main things is like people always have this idea of like, oh, well, if I change, or I can change them and they can be the type of person that I want. And it's like, no, because even if you change the person from who they were before, like, it's just not the same. Like it's not gonna be the same as your idea of what you want from a person.
Yeah.
So I just think, date around, find your person, but if you're the one trying to hold somebody around, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Let them go. Find someone who does receive what you're giving.
Right. All right. Next family meeting question. It says, so my friend is sort of involved with this girl for a while, but they're not serious. They had sex once in a while, but that's about it. Basically, friends with benefits. Well, last night, my friend's girl came up to me saying she found me very attractive and would try to make a move, but I have loyalty to my friend, so nothing happened. But I feel the same way about her. What should I do? By the way, she is my type through and through. Thanks, guys.
Isn't that a salty feeling when the one you think is kind of cute or that's your type goes for your friend?
That's so tragic.
It is.
Sad.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's it.
Yeah, like it's done up.
Like, what are you doing?
Do you feel like it depends on the level of friendship that you have with that person?
I mean, I guess, but I feel like there's like girl code or whatever. So it really depends on like, I guess, how your friend feels for that girl or whatever. Like if she's like, oh, I really don't care if you hook up with her, like she's not my type, or I would never be with her. That's all you.
Yeah, I feel like you do have people who don't care, and they're like, oh yeah, I messed up. Especially like, come on, within the queer community and the lesbian community, I feel like it's such a small world already that you're running into the same people. We already know that, people dated people of other people's people. Like that sounds
so
crazy,
annoying.
but that's the reality, I guess.
Oh my God.
So it's not to say, people aren't messing around within the same circle. We see it all the time, but that's a salty feeling. But that's crazy for her. Like that's a little messy for her to be like, yeah, I'm messing with your friend, but I kind of think like you're popping too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's trouble. So that's why I say like, the person mentions that, they're loyal to the friend. So I would assume if you're loyal to that friend, that's an important friendship.
Right.
But I don't know. How bad do you really, want the girl? And then I don't know, because I also feel like while that person is attractive and like, oh, what's to say that person isn't like, I don't even know how to explain it. When you like bring people into your group and like into your circle, and then when you're done with them, they're still hanging around because they're running through the circle. It's like putting people onto people. So I just feel like that was to say like she's not doing that, like she's already entertained your friend, and now she's kind of like throwing some hints at you, and then you take her on and you bring her on to people, and now she's like, I don't know, that's messy. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's a chitter chatter for you and your friend if you really
welcome
want to
to the
that.
L word. I can't. I think that's it. All right, y'all. Well, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Deuce, mother goose.
Bye.